Taking a look at some money lessons today, Jennifer Engel, the Executive Director of International Programs at Loyola University, joins me now with all you need to know about studying abroad. Thanks for coming on the show.
Yes, well, no, thank you for having me. This is often a topic that students aren't quite aware they can make study abroad happen, so I'm glad to talk about it.
Great opportunity to study overseas, and you say, and this is a shocker, it's not as expensive as you think.
No, it's not. There's a lot of programs out there that are expensive, but there's a lot of programs out there that are very affordable. And so I always tell students to kind of think about cost, look at the sticker price, but then also really consider the value, what's included in the cost, and do a quick kind of calculation in terms of cost per week abroad and cost per credit earned while abroad. And then you can kind of really get a sense of the value of the different programs and being able to compare them really well.
Are there certain countries that are less expensive to study in than others?
Yes, actually, surprisingly, Asia. Students often think that just the cost of getting to Asia is going to be expensive, but it's actually cheaper to fly to Vietnam right now than to fly to Italy.
Oh, interesting.
And then once you get there, the cost of living, the daily cost of living, food, transportation is often a lot cheaper than what it is being here in Chicago.
In some instances, is it less expensive to study abroad versus studying in the United States?
Yeah, and there's a lot of options out there for students, a lot of affordable programs. And so I always tell students to really kind of look at the overall cost and consider what they normally spend here to study in the US and compare that to the cost of studying abroad. And then with all the financial aid that's available, the scholarships that are available, it really does make it affordable to study abroad.
What are your best tips for financial aid and tapping into that money?
Yeah. Well, surprisingly, there's a lot of scholarships that go unclaimed. I always tell students to really think about the program that they're doing, but then also look at the scholarship funding that's out there. And there's a lot of scholarship funding that's tied to the particular program they may choose, but then there's also a lot of private funding out there for scholarships, as well as national funding. The Gilman Scholarship, for example, is a great national scholarship funded by the government for students who have a high level of financial need. So it's a great opportunity, you just got to take the time to apply.
Do you just Google around then to find these scholarship opportunities, or is there a book or some sort of information
resource, yeah.
that you can get your hands on?
Yeah, a lot of study abroad offices will have these listed on their websites. So for example, at Loyola University Chicago, we have a whole section on scholarships, and so students can kind of get a sense of what's out there. But of course, you can also Google scholarships for study abroad and see what else is out there as well.
You also say it's important to take a look at the extracurricular costs, because once you're in another country, you're going to want to travel around. It's a great opportunity.
Yeah, exactly. And so that's one of the other things I tell students to do. Once they've found an affordable program and they've applied for scholarships, and before they leave, is to really think about realistically what their financial resources are, but then also realistically what they want to do when they are abroad. You know, you don't want to go to Rome, for example, and then not be able to travel around Europe. And it's actually cheaper to travel around Europe now than it ever has been, with low-cost flights and everything. So I tell students to really think about their budget. Think about their resources, think about the costs, the local transportation, the daily costs of living, but then also the travel and the cultural activities that they're going to want to do while they're over there to maximize their time overseas. So come up with a budget beforehand and then stick to it so that you don't run out of money by the end of the semester.
Plus the dollar is so strong right now, so the pound and the euro are much lower than...
Oh, yeah.
Thank you for coming on the show.
Yeah, well, no, thank you for having me. It was a pleasure.